The 48th cake box struck the marble table, silencing the orchestra. Luciana Bellecourt ripped off the lid and raised a black authentication key. 47 cakes were not enough, Amara. You had to steal his key and deliver yourself with the 48th. Every face turned toward the curvy baker. No one defended her. Guards blocked the doors. Amara ignored the love letter and examined the copper thread. Luciana smiled. She sent him cake after cake until he trusted her. Amara looked at Raffaele Montoro. Where are the other 47 in his private cold room, Luciana said. Kept like souvenirs. Then open the bottoms, not just the lids. Second-proof seals were wrapped left to right. This thread crossed the opposite way. The silver board was smooth, no batch code, no baker's mark. Raffaele signaled once. A refrigerated wall opened, revealing 7 rows of untouched white boxes. Every copper seal remained whole. He cut the first thread himself. Beneath the board appeared a Bellecourt event code, the real bakery price, and the address of a charity dinner that had never happened. The second box carried another false location. Luciana's smile vanished. Lock the doors, Raffaele said. Record every seal. I am opening all 47. 6 weeks earlier, Amara DeLuca believed she had accepted the largest legitimate order of her career. She did not know every cake had a second purpose, or that the woman ordering them had chosen her to carry the blame. Amara DeLuca read the contract twice. 48 cakes. Luciana Bellecourt rested a gloved hand beside the folder. 47 for Montoro civic table dinners. 1 for my engagement gala. The order could cover payroll, replace Second Proof's mixer, and repair the freezer. Amara still did not reach for the pen. The schedule listed codes instead of venues MCT-01 through MCT-47. No addresses, Amara said. The locations serve vulnerable adults. Bellecourt Hospitality will collect everything. I cannot verify delivery without destinations. Your responsibility ends when our drivers sign. Amara turned a page. Her bakery's price was correct. The foundation summary was not. Each dinner carried a $100,000 allocation. My cakes do not cost this. That includes staffing, transport, and security. Amara opened her ledger. Every cake gets a batch stamp beneath the board, copper thread around the box, pickup time driver, identification, and destination code. Any change must be signed. Your online system should be enough. It is not enough for me. Luciana studied her. You are cautious. I worked for people who called missing records a misunderstanding until they needed someone else's name on the mistake. After a pause, Luciana signed the clause. Amara signed beneath her. Then Luciana slid a cream card across the counter. The 48th cake is different. It will be presented privately before the gala. Amara read the instructions. No paper ledger entry, no visible batch mark, no staff access. She pushed the card back. I do not make invisible food. This is a personal request. Then it receives a personal invoice and the same record as everything else. Luciana returned the card to her handbag. Of course. After she left, Amara noticed the contract copy on the counter. The 48th line already had a pickup code. It was dated 3 weeks earlier. 3 days later, Amara carried the sample cake into a private dining room at Montoro Grand. Luciana had arranged white roses, silver plates, and a photographer more interested in Amara than the dessert. Raffaele Montoro entered without announcement. 2 security men checked the room before he sat beside his fiancée. Luciana pushed a plate toward him. Black fig, cacao, and orange. Amara made it for us. Raffaele did not touch the fork. You do not eat sugar, Amara asked. I do not eat what arrives before I know who controlled it. Luciana laughed. Raffaele treats dessert like a hostage negotiation. Amara removed the slice, turned the whole cake toward him, and cut a fresh piece with a knife in full view. Now you know. For the first time, he looked directly at her. He tasted once, then examined the layers. The fig is not in the frosting. It would make the sweetness lazy. A faint change touched his expression. Luciana leaned closer while the photographer shifted position. Amara developed the menu herself. She is protective of her work. I noticed, Raffaele said. The shutter clicked as Amara placed the production card beside his plate. She stepped back, but Luciana asked her to explain the copper seal batch stamp, then delivery codes. Each answer kept Amara beside Raffaele longer. When the tasting ended, Luciana left to take a call. The photographer followed her. Raffaele compared the foundation packet with Amara's invoice. Your order numbers begin with SD, second proof. These begin with MCT, the charity program. He placed both pages together. The quantities match. The values do not. Amara folded her arms. I asked about that. And what were you told? That the difference covered events, staffing, transport, and security. Raffaele studied the 47 codes. Then why, he asked, does your invoice identify cakes that my foundation records identify as entire dinners? The first box reached the Montoro estate before sunrise. It carried second proof's name, Amara's copper thread, and a cream card addressed to Raffaele. For the man who always tastes what I make twice. Gabriel Serrat photographed every side before moving it into the cold room for unverified food. The seal remained intact. Raffaele checked the record. The order number belonged to one of the 47 charity cakes. The destination did not. By noon, he stood inside second proof holding photographs. Amara studied the box on his phone. That is my seal. You sent it, I sold it. Those are not the same thing. She enlarged the label. A strip marked personal for Raffaele Montoro covered the lower half. Remove it, she said. The box is evidence. Then photograph the removal. I am not opening it yet. Amara looked up. You came asking whether I sent you a private cake, but you will not let me see the thing that can answer you. I came because your name is on it. My name is on 47 commercial orders. Raffaele's expression hardened at the implication. Amara pointed to the thread. The knot is correct. The tension is mine. That box left my kitchen sealed. Whatever happened after pickup happened outside second proof. Who collected it? She opened her paper ledger. Driver ID BH17, Bellacourt Hospitality. Signed at 6:14 yesterday evening. His phone showed delivery to the estate at 9:32. 3 hours and 18 minutes, he said. Long enough to miss a charity dinner. He asked for a copy. Amara kept one hand on the original. You receive the copy. This stays here. You think I would take it? I think powerful people call possession protection when they are frightened. Raffaele accepted the page. As he turned to leave, Gabriel called. A second proof box had arrived. Same handwriting, same private label, different charity code. By the end of the week, 6 boxes sat untouched in the Montoro cold room. Amara knew about 2. She called the first 3 MCT sites. MCT-01 had never scheduled a dinner. The senior dining hall assigned MCT-02 had been closed for repairs on the contract date. The re-entry program listed under MCT-03 said Bellacourt Hospitality canceled months earlier. Amara recorded each answer in a ledger. Noon, Dario Bellacorte called. You were instructed not to contact the sites. I was instructed to make cakes for them. Schedules change. Then signed changes should exist. His silence lasted too long. All future communication goes through Bellecourt Hospitality. Across the city, Gabriel placed a sixth evidence tag beside Raffaele. Same message, different code, all seals intact. Has Amara been informed not of the total? Raphael studied the layered labels. Someone wanted the boxes preserved long enough to be discovered, but not examined closely enough to reveal where they had first been sent. Keep them cold. No openings. Gabriel hesitated. She may need to know. She needs facts, not speculation. At second proof, Amara reached the same danger from the opposite direction. Someone had bought real cakes for false tables. She copied every pickup record, stored one set off-site, and told Naomi no driver would leave without identification. That evening, Luciana arrived with a black folder. I hear you have been alarming our partner facilities. I asked whether they expected what they ordered. They did not order from you. We did. Luciana placed the folder on the counter. This confidentiality agreement will prevent further confusion. Amara opened it. The first clause forbade contact with any venue. The second forbade discussion of delivery irregularities. The third allowed Bellecourt Hospitality to revise vendor records after collection. Amara looked up. Luciana had marked where she was expected to sign. Amara closed the folder. I will not sign this. Luciana's smile stayed fixed. Then Bellecourt Hospitality cannot guarantee the remaining pickups. You guaranteed them in the contract. That agreement did not account for contacting protected facilities. It accounted for cakes reaching the places listed. Luciana tapped the third clause. This lets us correct details after collection. It lets you rewrite who received my work. It lets professionals manage an event larger than your bakery. Amara slid the folder back. You can buy 47 cakes. You cannot buy the right to change where I made them for. The kitchen door opened. Raphael entered with Gabriel. Luciana turned. Amara is struggling with the scale of the arrangement. No. I am struggling with language that becomes permission after everyone stops reading. Raphael picked up the agreement and paused at the amendment clause. She has begun contacting foundation partners, Luciana said. It is creating embarrassment. Were the dinners canceled? Schedules shifted? Were vendor records revised? They may need to be. Amara watched, waiting to see whether power would protect itself. Raphael set down the folder. No second proof record changes without her signed approval. You are making this personal, Luciana said. You asked her to surrender control of her name. Amara stepped between them. I do not need you to win this for me. Raphael met her eyes. No. He moved back. Amara faced Luciana. Pickups continue under the original terms. Every driver is identified. Every destination change is signed before collection. Otherwise, the cakes stay here. Luciana gathered the folder. At the door, she glanced at Raffaele, then at Amara's apron. Attention from powerful men can make women mistake access for value. Amara did not look away. My work had value before he tasted it. Behind Luciana, a camera shutter clicked. The photograph appeared online before second proof opened. Amara stood beside Raffaele. The caption called her the baker who had captured the Montoro boss's attention. By noon, 3 customers canceled orders. A fourth asked whether private deliveries were included in her prices. Naomi turned the phone face down. They cropped Luciana out. They cropped out the contract too. Across the city, Gabriel added another white box to the cold room. 31 now filled the shelves. Every copper seal remained intact. Every cream note had been attached outside it. Raphael read the newest one. The sweetest proof is what a man chooses twice. He had seen the sentence before, not in Amara's handwriting, but somewhere among Luciana's engagement materials. These were never meant to be eaten, he said. Gabriel looked at the rows. They were meant to be counted. Raffaele entered second proof after the last customer left. Amara placed the photograph and 2 cancellation emails between them. You knew someone was using my name. I was preserving evidence. You were preserving boxes. You left me outside the investigation. I did not have enough facts. You had enough to ask whether I was sending you cakes. His silence confirmed what she feared. How many, Amara? How many boxes are in your house? 31. She stepped back. 31 people can repeat a lie before I even know the first version. None have been opened. That protects you. It does not protect my name. Raffaele's jaw tightened. Tell me what you need. The notes. He sent Gabriel the order. Images arrived one by one. Amara stopped at the same sentence Raffaele had noticed. The sweetest proof is what a man chooses twice. She opened Bellecourt Hospitality's engagement brochure. The closing line matched exactly. Then another cancellation appeared on her screen. It gave no reason. It only included a photograph of 31 white boxes. Amara placed the photograph beside her ledger and counted the boxes twice. 31. Raffaele had told her 31. The image had been taken before his visit. How many now? She asked when he answered. Silence. 47, he said. Every cake in the contract had been diverted. Amara closed her eyes once then opened the pickup records. Naomi brought the temperature sheets, while Raffaele remained on the line. 3 driver names appeared across the 47 orders. All 3 had used the same handheld terminal. All 3 identification scans carried the prefix DBL. Dario Bellecorte Logistics, Amara said. I will bring him in. No, you will preserve the records. He used your business, and you do not get to turn my evidence into one of your private interrogations. Raffaele's answer came slowly. Understood. Amara compared the creation dates. The pickup schedule had been uploaded 3 weeks before Luciana entered second proof. The engagement tasting the first time Amara had met Raffaele came later. The photographs had not inspired the plan. They had been arranged to support it. A cream invitation arrived that afternoon. Luciana requested Amara's presence at the engagement gala to present the 48th cake personally. Naomi checked the production calendar. We never accepted that cake. Amara opened the digital order. It carried her logo, her name, and a completion status. The file history showed no login from second proof. Its first version had been created 63 days earlier, 2 weeks before Raffaele had ever tasted her work. Amara printed the metadata and placed it inside her off-site evidence envelope. That evening, she accepted the invitation. Not because Luciana had summoned her, because someone had already built a cake in her name, and Amara intended to see what they had hidden inside it. The 48th box waited beneath the engagement lights. Luciana struck the marble table. The lid opened, revealing a black authentication key and a letter bearing Amara's name. She raised both. 47 cakes were not enough. You had to steal his key and deliver yourself with the 48th. The orchestra stopped. Guards sealed the doors. Guests stared at Amara's body, her apron, and Raffaele, as if accusation were already proof. Amara knelt beside the box, but did not touch the key. She examined the copper thread. Where are the other 47 in Raffaele's private cold room? Luciana said. Untouched souvenirs from a woman who thought feeding him would make her irresistible. Then open the bottoms, not just the lids. Amara held up the thread. Second proof seals run left to right. This runs right to left. My boards carry a pressed code beneath the silver. This one is blank. Raffaele looked at Gabriel. Open the wall. Cold air crossed the ballroom as 7 rows of white boxes appeared. Every copper seal remained whole. Gabriel began recording. Raffaele cut the first thread himself. The cake was uncut. Beneath its board, SD01 MCT01 Bellacourt pickup and Amara's actual price. The second named a closed facility. The third named a dinner cancelled months earlier. Raffaele opened the fourth, then the fifth. He did not delegate one box. Guests stopped counting after 20. Amara did not. 36, 41, 47. Every cake remained untouched. Every hidden stamp matched her ledger. Every overlaid label concealed a Bellacourt destination code. The 48th box alone had no batch mark. Dr. Celia Arden stepped forward with a tablet. These codes also identify 47 completed payments, she said. $100,000 each. Luciana's face emptied. Celia turned the screen toward the witnesses. $4.7 million. Paid for dinners that never happened. The ballroom became an evidence room. Celia ordered every box numbered, photographed, and moved beneath independent guard. Gabriel surrendered the cold room log. It showed that each cake had gone directly from the estate entrance into quarantine. No plate had been requested. No serving knife had entered the room. Amara opened her paper ledger beside Celia's payment records. SD01 cost $1,200, she said. Your foundation recorded $100,000. Celia placed both figures on the main screen. The pattern repeated 47 times. Amara called the 3 facilities she had contacted before the gala, their directors joined by secure video. MCT01 had received no food. MCT02 had been closed on the listed date. MCT03 had cancelled before Amara's contract was signed. Luciana stood behind her attorney. A venue change does not prove theft. No, Celia said. Payment without a venue, staff, guests, or delivery does. Raffaele stepped toward the foundation console. Freeze every Bellacourt account. Celia blocked the screen. You are connected to the accounts, the foundation, and one of the accused parties. You will not control this review. The room waited for the Mafia boss to refuse. Instead, Amara said, "Let her work." Raffaele looked at her, then removed his hand. Give Dr. Arden full access. It was the first order he gave that reduced his own power. Celia opened the authorization records. 47 transfers had been approved with the same black authentication device. Raffaele checked his jacket, then looked toward Gabriel. My office key. Gabriel's face changed. It was logged in your safe yesterday. Luciana pointed toward the counterfeit cake. You already found it. She brought it here. Celia lifted the device using an evidence sleeve. The transfers began 61 days ago. Amara understood before anyone said it. 61 days ago, she had never met Raffaele Montoro. Celia moved the counterfeit cake to a stainless steel table while Naomi joined by secure video from Second Proof. Amara removed one glove and pointed without touching. The glaze is too bright. We use black cacao and reduced fig. That finish contains mirror syrup. Naomi checked the inventory records. We have never purchased it. The box told the same story. Its corners had been machine creased, not folded against the wooden guide on Amara's packing bench. The copper thread crossed right to left. Beneath the silver board, there was no pressed batch code. Luciana's attorney stepped forward. A skilled baker could make an unrecorded cake. Not in my kitchen, Amara said. Celia displayed Second Proof's oven log. The temperature sensor, installed after Amara's former employer, tried to rewrite a production failure, recorded every heating cycle. No unassigned bake appeared. Naomi added the security feed. Amara was visible completing MCT 47 when the counterfeit order claimed she had prepared the gala cake alone. Gabriel lifted the board inside an evidence sleeve. A charcoal button rolled onto the steel. Luciana looked at Amara's work coat. One button was missing. She planted her own clothing, Luciana said, to make an innocent delivery appear suspicious. Amara examined the thread caught beneath it. No, someone pulled this from the coat I left at the Montoro Grand Tasting. Celia connected the black authentication key to an isolated reader. 47 approvals appeared. Each carried Raffaele's authorization code. Then she displayed their locations. The first transfer had been approved from Bellacourt Hospitality's private office, while Amara stood beneath Second Proof's camera, shaping fig layers with both hands. The next 6 came from the same address. Celia looked toward Luciana. The device was hidden in a cake Amara did not bake, she said. But it was used repeatedly inside your office. Celia isolated the authentication key from every Montoro network. The device is genuine, she said. The approvals are not. Raffaele's code had been entered correctly, but the biometric confirmation attached to each transfer came from a stored administrative override. Only 4 people could access it: Raffaele, Luciana, Dario, and the Foundation's compliance director. The compliance director had been hospitalized during the first transfer. Raffaele had been in New York beneath Gabriel's security record. Amara had not yet met either of them. That left 2 names. Across the room, Dario's laptop disconnected from the Foundation server. Celia looked up. Someone is deleting pickup records. Gabriel moved toward him, but Luciana spoke first. My brother managed logistics. If he abused my trust, I will not protect him. Dario stared at her. The betrayal lasted only a second before he lowered his eyes. Amara watched Luciana construct a new story before the first one had finished collapsing. You approved the engagement language, Amara said. That has nothing to do with financial access. Amara displayed the cream notes from the boxes beside Luciana's wedding concept. The sweetest proof is what a man chooses twice. The wording, punctuation, and unusual capitalization matched. Luciana's attorney called it a common phrase. Celia opened the file history. The concept had been created 92 days earlier from Luciana's private account. The first counterfeit pickup schedule had been attached 11 minutes later. 3 months before the tasting photograph. 3 months before Amara stood beside Raffaele. Luciana had not discovered a seduction. She had written it in advance. Amara's phone vibrated. Second proof, rear storage door open. Naomi was still at the hotel. No one was supposed to be inside the bakery. Amara did not rush back alone. She called Naomi, sent the alert to Celia, and activated Second Proof's production lock from her phone. The rear storage door sealed. Cameras switched to independent recording. By the time Amara arrived with Gabriel and 2 commercial crimes officers, someone was trapped inside the office. Dario Bellacourt stood beside the desk with a solvent can at his feet. A paper ledger lay open in his hands. Amara remained behind the glass partition. Put it down. Dario held up the book. You kept the evidence here. Predictable. No. I kept a copy where you expected the original. His expression changed. The real production ledger had been transferred to Celia before the gala. The book in Dario's hands was a decoy containing numbered blank pages and a trace marker beneath the cover. On the desk sat another ledger prepared to replace it. 47 entries had been rewritten to show personal deliveries to Raffaele. Amara's signature had been imitated beneath each one. Dario stepped toward the release panel. Amara locked it from her phone. You cannot keep me here. The officers can. I am preserving the room. He glanced at the cameras and lowered his voice. Open the door, and I can make the rumors disappear. You created them. Those cakes were supposed to prove you wanted him, not prove where the money went. No one moved. The independent recorder marked the time. Dario realized what he had said. Gabriel entered only after the officers authorized the door. They recovered the solvent, the forged ledger, a Bellecourt terminal, and the missing pickup files. Celia called before Dario was removed. There is one more document, she said. An emergency control agreement carrying Raffaele's signature. Amara looked through the glass at the false version of her own name. Is the signature real? No, Celia said. But the board votes tomorrow. By morning, Luciana had replaced scandal with sacrifice. Her statement claimed Dario diverted the charity funds alone. She had hidden his misconduct only because she believed Amara and Raffaele were conducting an affair that threatened the foundation. Then she released an audio clip. Raffaele's voice filled the boardroom. I trust Amara more than I trust this council. The recording ended. Board members turned toward the woman whose name had appeared on 47 cakes and a counterfeit letter. Raffaele rose. Amara lifted one hand. Sit down. The room stilled. Luciana smiled. She gives him orders now. No, Amara said. I am preventing another powerful person from deciding which part of my story the room hears. Celia connected Amara's drive to the independent system. The complete recording began 23 seconds earlier. Raffaele was asking why the Foundation's digital files contradicted Second Proof's ledger. Amara's recorded voice answered. My records can be checked. Your council's records can be rewritten after collection. Then came Raffaele's full sentence. I trust Amara more than I trust this council, because she preserved what your system allowed someone to change. The audio continued. No confession. No private promise, only batch numbers and delivery records. Luciana's expression did not break. Emotional loyalty does not need a kiss to compromise judgment. Amara placed the file metadata beside Luciana's wedding concept. You wrote the romance before we met, she said. Then you arranged photographs and trusted people to believe a curvy baker traded food for access. Several board members looked away. Celia opened the emergency control agreement scheduled for the afternoon vote. It transferred the foundation its accounts and active investigations to Bellecourt Hospitality. At the bottom was Raffaele's signature. Above it, the authorization timestamp matched the stolen black key. The independent hearing began beneath no family crest. Celia had removed Montoro security from the evidence table and placed 47 affidavits under certified seal. 3 facility directors appeared in person. The remaining statements waited on the screen, each signed by an adult administrator responsible for the listed site. Amara stood alone at the center. She did not begin with Luciana. She began with the thread. Every second proof box was sealed left to right. 47 matched. The counterfeit did not. Next came the stamps beneath the board's production dates, SD numbers, MCT codes, Bellecourt pickup references, and actual bakery prices. Then the hidden labels. Under controlled heat, each personal for Raffaele sticker lifted to reveal the destination Bellecourt had covered. The first director testified that no dinner occurred. The second produced a closure notice. The third showed a cancellation accepted before Amara's contract existed. Celia displayed the other 44 affidavits. No guests, no staff, no food, no deliveries, Amara continued. The cakes prove what left my kitchen. The cold room log proves where they went. The invoices prove what I charged. The transfers prove what the foundation lost. The black authentication key appeared inside a clear evidence case. Celia added the office location data, counterfeit cake materials, the the predated pickup file, Dario's forged ledger, and his recorded admission. Luciana's attorney rose. None of this proves Miss Bellecourt operated the device. No, Amara said. The timeline proves she built the story that concealed whoever did. Celia opened the emergency control agreement. Its signature was visually perfect. Then she enlarged the authorization layer beneath it. The document had not been signed by Raffaele's hand. It had been created by the stolen key 11 minutes after Luciana's wedding file generated the first false pickup schedule. Celia placed the emergency agreement beside the authentication log. The signature image came from a legitimate filing, she said. The approval beneath it came from the stolen key. This document has no authority. The board secretary removed the vote from the agenda. Luciana turned to Raffaele. You know what happens if Bellecourt's support leaves your foundation. I know what happened while it remained. He removed the engagement ring and set it beside the false agreement. There will be no wedding. Luciana's composure cracked. For her, Raffaele looked toward Amara, then back at Luciana. For the 47 empty tables. For the money. For the signature you believed my name could make real. Celia suspended Bellecourt Hospitality's access. Dario's admission, the forged ledger, the counterfeit cake, and Luciana's predated files were transferred for criminal review. Raffaele froze the connected accounts, but signed control of the investigation to an independent trustee. Montoro counsel then approached Amara with 3 documents: an exclusive hotel contract, a confidential settlement, and financing for second proof. She closed all 3. My bakery is not compensation for surviving your system. Raffaele did not argue. Amara placed her own terms before the board: a public correction restitution through the legal process, transparent bidding, 47 restored programs, and a foundation controlled by neither family. The board approved an independent restructuring vote. Outside the hearing room, Raffaele stopped several feet from her. I should have told you when the second box arrived. Yes. I called silence protection because I controlled the silence. Yes. He accepted both answers. When this is finished, may I come to second proof as a customer? Amara studied the man who had finally learned not every closed door belonged to him. Finish making this right, she said. Then stand in line. 8 months later, Second Proof opened its expanded kitchen without a Montoro logo on the door. Amara had financed the renovation through bakery profits, court-ordered restitution, and a loan signed only in her name. Naomi now supervised production. Every box still carried copper thread and a pressed code beneath the board. The 47 facilities had received restored funding. Their new programs published every vendor invoice and delivery. Montoro Civic Table was governed by an independent board. Raffaele had resigned as chairman before anyone asked him to. Luciana and Dario were awaiting trial for fraud, forgery, evidence interference, and conspiracy. Their names appeared in legal filings, not in Amara's window. At 11:40, Raffaele entered alone. The customers noticed him. Amara did not move anyone aside. There are 4 people ahead of you, she said. I counted. Your skills are improving. He waited. When his turn came, he paid the listed price for black fig cacao cake. No security man carried flowers. No attorney carried a contract. No hidden company owned the building. Raffaele took the small table near the window. Amara finished an order, washed her hands, and brought over a white box with no destination label. His gaze settled on it. The 48th no. She placed it between them. The 48th was made to prove a lie. It carried someone else's words, someone else's key, and my name without my permission. Amara cut the copper thread herself. Inside were 2 slices and 2 forks. This one has a batch mark, she said. A real invoice. And no one chose where it would go except me. Raffaele did not touch the lid. What does that make it? Amara pulled out the chair across from him. A choice. Only then did she sit down. Outside, people still moved when Raffaele Montoro entered a room. Inside second proof, he waited until Amara opened the box. Luciana believed repetition could turn accusation into truth. 47 boxes were meant to say Amara had used food desire and Raffaele's name to reach power. Instead, every untouched seal told the opposite story. The copper thread, hidden batch marks, covered labels, empty venues, stolen key, and files created before Amara ever met him proved the seduction had been written first and staged afterward. Amara did not win because a Mafia boss chose her over his fiancé. She won because her name could no longer be attached to work she had not done, money she had not taken, or choices she had not made. Raffaele's lesson was quieter protection without truth is still control. In the end, no ring closed the story. Amara opened a new box herself, and only then invited him to share what was inside.